If you follow me on Twitter, then some of you might be aware of this already, but if not, let me fill you in on something that's a little interesting. After my last live video on Jim Clyburn titled "Hispanic Politicians Are Demanding Policy While Jim Clyburn Sells Out Black America in Reparations," within a matter of 3 hours of my live video airing, Jim Clyburn removed his 10-20-30 works report that I used to expose him with. But unfortunately for him, I had a copy of it downloaded already, and now it is up on tdnewsnetwork.com for you to read and download for yourself. Now, the fact that he removed that report so quickly after my live video aired shows very clearly that they are watching, they are listening, and that they just simply don't care. This is why Jim Clyburn and the entire Congressional Black Caucus has to go and be replaced with brothers and sisters that are actually willing to fight for us. Now, here's something else that's interesting. Did you know that South Carolina has 7 congressional districts, of which Jim Clyburn runs District 6? Which is the most poverty-stricken district in all of South Carolina? You don't believe me? Well, let me prove it to you. Now, we're here on talkpoverty.org, and we're viewing South Carolina's 6th district, which is Jim Clyburn's district, and as you can see here, 23.5% of his district is in poverty. Now let's just take a quick moment to go through all of the other districts. District 1, 8.8%, District 2, 11.6%, District 3, 15.1%, District 4, 11%, District 5, 12.4%, District 6, obviously Jim Clyburn's district, 23.5%, and District 7, 16.5%. What makes it even worse is that he has the smallest population of people in his district. He can't even use the excuse that by default he has the highest poverty rating because he has the largest population. He only has 622,913 people in his district, while to the contrast, District 1 has the largest population with 810,606 people, yet has the lowest poverty rate of 8.8%. And I mean no disrespect to the viewing audience, but because I know most people won't look this up for themselves to verify that what I'm saying is true, I'm going to read the numbers off for you. District 1, 810,606. District 2, 700,878. District 3, 684,538. District 4, 735,108. District 5, 723,108. District 6, 622,913, and District 7, 726,084. Now, out of Jim Clyburn's population of 622,913 people, 57% of them are Black. And out of that population, 27.9% of them are impoverished. How is this man still in office? He doesn't support any piece of legislation that will specifically and directly support Black America, and by no means at all whatsoever does Jim Clyburn support reparations. As you're going to see here from this article titled, "South Carolina's Clyburn Pans Reparations Opportunity Zones as Unable to Address Racial Inequality." The highest-ranking African-American member of Congress has major problems with 2 prominent ideas to address racial disparities in the economy. One that comes from his fellow Democrats, and another championed by a Republican African-American senator from his home state. In an interview, House Majority Whip Jim Clyburn teed off on both reparations and opportunity zones, complaining that the former is impractical and the latter is unhelpful. I'm going to repeat that again. Complaining that the former is impractical, reparations, and the latter is unhelpful, opportunity zones. I think pure reparations would be impossible to implement, said Clyburn. But we can deal with the issue of racial inequality if we just admit, first of all, that it exists, and then come up with some straightforward ways to deal with it. Clyburn's comments on reparations come amid increasing debate among 2020 Democratic presidential candidates about the idea. Some on the left called for compensating the descendants of slaves for their families' hardships, while others have proposed different racial reconciliation efforts. The idea of reparations has been around for decades, but rose in prominence recently after an acclaimed series in the Atlantic magazine by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Supporters argue it's a direct way to begin remedying the ongoing racial wealth gap due to slavery and later decades of institutional racism. But the opposition from Clyburn, the third-ranking House Democrat who has represented a majority-minority district in South Carolina since 1993, could lend additional credibility to those who believe there are more manageable, political, palatable ways to tackle the issue. Clyburn said he fears reparations could lead to contested debates about who would be eligible due to sprawling family trees that have evolved in generations since slavery was abolished. Even some white people who have never personally felt the effects of racial discrimination could end up making claims that they have family connections to former slaves, Clyburn said, pointing to some of his own acquaintances in Charleston who he said would fall under that category. Is that a fair way to do it, Clyburn asked? I say not. Instead, Clyburn said he liked a recent comment by U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, the Vermont independent who recently launched his second campaign for the Democratic presidential nomination. Sanders said in a CNN Townhall last week that he would push to increase the usage of Clyburn's 10-20-30 policy. To me, that's a much better way to deal with what reparations is supposed to be about, Clyburn said. Brothers and sisters, I just got done explaining to you 5 days ago that Clyburn's 10-20-30 plan is a lie, and I exposed it through his own report that he published himself and then took it down 3 hours after I exposed him. As you can clearly see, Jim Clyburn in no way, shape, form, or fashion supports reparations. And just like Bernie Sanders, when you ask him about it, he gets visibly upset and becomes condescending towards you, but will never give you a simple yes or no answer because he doesn't support it. Now recently, the good brother Jamion Fowler went to one of Jim Clyburn's town halls, and what I want you to do is listen to how agitated and condescending Jim Clyburn gets when Jamion brings up reparations.
50-50. There's 50 Democrats and 50 Republicans.
So do you want to pass reparations for ADOS or no?
Sorry?
Do you want to pass reparations for ADOS or not?
I want to pass it for my wife and her descendants.
Are they ADOS?
I have no idea what that is.
American descendants of slavery.
Look at me. Look at my daughter.
I know who you are.
Okay. So she's a descendant of slavery.
Okay. So you do want to pass reparations for ADOS?
I'm not going to argue with you now. I've already answered your question. I've already answered your question.
Thank you.
Is that a yes or no?
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Brothers and sisters, let's just be logical here, okay? If Jim Clyburn doesn't even care about the people in his own district, then what would make you think on a national level he would ever seriously get behind reparations or any other piece of legislation that would specifically benefit Black America? As you can clearly see, this man is a wicked, deceiving serpent who must be voted out of office if there is ever going to be any political progress for Black America moving forward. He is not working with us. He is working against us. And with all that being said, I want to thank you for your time. That does it for today's video. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. All social media links will be pinned in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to text tdhiphop to number 33222. That's tdhiphop to number 33222. That way you'll get a direct text notification whenever I release a new video, but it also serves as a protection plan for myself. In case YouTube ever gives this channel the axe, I'll be able to send you a direct link to where you can find me next. And last but certainly not least, for those of you who have been subscribed to this channel for quite some time now and have a love and appreciation for the work that I put in on this channel as well as TD News Network, you can show your support to me through joining Patreon. For only $3 a month, that will help put me in position to be able to take TD Hip Hop Media off of YouTube. Remember, the goal is not to grow big on YouTube, but to grow independent of YouTube. And if you haven't already, lastly, please make sure you join the emailing list. There is absolutely no way I can go independent of YouTube if I cannot take the audience with me. That is why the emailing list is so critical, and the link to that will be pinned in the comment section below as well. Thank you for your time, and until the next video, peace.